So, new product update. Chad Embrey with Fujikura Composites, Axiom.
Yes.
This is pre-recorded whilst with Chad in Florida. We can't use this until the 15th of February. So
perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Again, I want to keep my job, so that's very nice of you to do that for me. Yeah, we are super excited. We have a new shaft coming out called Axiom. It's an iron shaft. Due to the great success and fortunate success that we've had with the Ventus and VELOCORE technology, we're going to use that VELOCORE technology inside an iron shaft. Axiom is the name. It's going to be in a 75, 105, and a 125 gram.
Yeah.
Comes in a range of senior flex all the way to X flex. We just did a demo day out at the Ritz here locally, and we got a lot of people hitting that and enjoying it. At least that's what they tell me. I doubt they tell me otherwise, but we do have a lot of in-house data. We have ENSO machines that work at our facility that help us test. We bring in hundreds of people, indoor and outdoor, have them hit it. We have shown distance dispersion levels much better than all of our competitors and better than steel, which is really nice to see. And then dispersion side to side tighter than steel and our competitors. So with all that said, having the VELOCORE, showing consistency, we're hoping that this graphite shaft is something that possibly even gets a play on tour. We're not going to shy away from offering it out there, and I think that's kind of the last step before we can really bring graphite iron shafts into the mainstream. So we're super excited. We got a great product that looks great. It'll be out real soon. Mid-March is when we plan on actually launching it to the public. So hopefully in time for spring, we'll have that thing rocking and ready to go.
We were saying before we started this how graphite shafts and irons have historically had a little bit of a stigma is a strong word, but people have kind of assumed they're just not as consistent as steel. But I think now we're seeing a massive uplift in the amount of graphite composite options that we're using. Partly swing styles are working towards a little bit more speed. I think the trust in graphite from the consumer side of things is increasing more and more and more. As you say, if we start to see the elite levels on tour, you see it on the Champions Tour, but if that filters into main tour, then it's only something that, again, increases that confidence for people to go down the graphite route.
Yeah, agreed. I've been in this business a long time. I hate to say that. I know I don't look like it. I look still fresh out of school. But when I first got in this business, that was exactly it. And to be honest, it was true. I worked for a graphite shaft company for the last 25, 30 years, and I would play them all the time because that's who I work for. And I would see it, 1 out of 10 shots goes further than what you'd traditionally expect, all things being equal. Shots might be a little bit, in terms of side-to-side dispersion, a little bit outside. Over the years, the material that we use as an industry has gotten so much better and so much more consistent that's just not a byproduct of graphite anymore. And if you trust graphite in your driver, your hybrid, your UDI, there's no reason that you shouldn't trust it now going into the irons. But you're right, we have a stigma, and I don't think that's a strong word. I think that's accurate. A lot of younger, better players kind of look at that as their dad's shaft, and it's just not true. I mean, we got guys at our company that are plus handicaps that swing extremely fast and hard with big load using 95 gram iron shafts and using them to extreme success. So I think more and more people should at least start to integrate that in iron fittings. And then once that happens, people will start seeing on monitors with all the technology that it is consistent, it is tighter, and it's better.
And so in the material, part of it's the cost efficiency of the materials, the economies of scale, that sort of things will help to bring them to I guess the quality was always able to be done, but within the cost boundaries that would be acceptable for a shaft you're buying multiples of. That's part of it over the years. But what's been the key thing? Has there been a key thing from a material standpoint that's allowed iron shafts to be developed obviously the VELOCORE material is a standalone, but from a more general point of view, has there been a key development of materials that's got iron shafts sort of nearer to where we are now? And the newer materials can bind them together.
I think honestly, it's the thirst from the shaft companies trying to be better at what they are, right? So we push material companies to give us new material, better material, tighter tolerance material, less resin material. So I don't think, you can generally look at one thing and say, wow, this really changed the world. I think it's just the thirst of the graphite shaft industry trying to be better and make better products that has pushed our vendors into being better at what they do, right? So we will test material from multiple different sources, and sources that come into the business every day. Like there's new ones that will bring in unique woven tapes or braided box weaves that we get material for, and we'll integrate that and see what it does. Sometimes it doesn't do anything, right? And we don't use it. And sometimes it changes the world, like a Ventus shaft, in which case we use a lot of it, like the pitch 70 material. So nothing specific, but I think we just get better every day because of a desire to be better.
And getting back to Axiom, to sort of bookended on this, in terms of what is the player going to be experiencing differently with this? Obviously the dispersion side of things, but from a feel side of things to swing with, is it that little bit of responsiveness, or retaining responsiveness, but then getting that stability down the tip end? Is it that kind of tip end or through the shaft? Is it that kind of progression of product?
Yeah. So what we talked about a little bit in the previous video was how VELOCORE technology in the material helps lower torque with that bias score. Same thing here. So we have torques that are less than steel, but still give an incredible feedback to the player. So what we're seeing from this product, aside from what everyone says in our industry, it's straighter and longer, which it is, go test, but I know that's a lip service a lot of times, is that we have higher launching shots, less spin, so you're getting higher, longer, and it's not spinning to the point where you get the balloon in less distance. So you're going to see load, feel, height, distance, the whole package with these. And I mean, again, we're talking about a technology that's changed the industry with VELOCORE. And to me, it seems like a simple, again, side note, I work for Fujikura. To me, it would behoove any player that has had success with the VELOCORE technology not to try one of these iron shafts, because it does translate into an iron shaft. And if it's changed your game with a driver or a fairway wood or a hybrid, give it a shot in the irons in the next fitting. But it's really good stuff. The feel's amazing. Another point too is a lot of the graphite shafts, especially in the heavier weights, the tip is so small that you can't put tip weights in, right? So when you get them from the manufacturer, you're kind of stuck at the swing weight you have without loading up on lead tape or doing something to deface the iron, right?
The unit at the bottom,
So we have developed these, even in our heavier weights, 125, with a hole big enough to accommodate tip weights. So now your job becomes easier. You can now make these things as you would and want to make with every other iron shaft to a specific swing weight for that particular player. So that's one of the benefits. Another benefit too is, for you in particular, we have 3 blanks. So it's a long iron, a mid iron, and a short iron. And so the tip trimming would be a maximum of 1 inch per iron. That allows us to keep more of the material inside the shaft, right? So if I'm going to put pitch 70 ton in a shaft and then cut off 5.5 inches of it, well, that changes the dynamic massively of that product. So now max tipping 1 inch per shaft, only 3 SKUs for inventory levels, and you can play around with it. Now you can go maybe lighter and heavier in a set, depending on what you want to do. You can mix those. So it really opens up not only the playability aspects of it, but for building, for making, for inventorying, a whole bunch of good stuff.
So getting in the studio somewhere around March time, so we'll be able to release this video mid-February. Look forward to getting in, look forward to seeing the numbers and testing it out, and hope you come in and try it.